What's going on?
1-0?
Another victory for the Abbotsford Canucks. 6 more to Calder Cup victory.
Oh my goodness. Can you believe what's going on here with these boys? It's been absolutely
I mean,
crazy.
Artur Silovs really emerging as the playoff MVP in these Calder Cup playoffs.
How about that for a game 2 performance? Because man, the first few times there was some sketchy things.
Yeah.
Probably 3 of the worst games of his career. And then this one, the Canucks only get one really lucky goal. But Silovs stopped everything else.
Yeah, and he looked solid. And Texas looks frustrated. Though that young line is not used to being shut down. Cole Lind trying to get into Silovs' face there at the end of the game. Man, I love the AHL. I love it. Like, everyone's just fighting for their careers, and it's just intense. And they play so close together. And now, like, going into game 3, they're going into hostile territory, and you know that Texas is going to be fired up. And oh man, there were some big hits in this game, like Jet Wu, and then Sammy Blais absolutely erased a guy there. Like, just some real good stuff. Man, and they managed to kill off a bunch of penalties that the one power play they got, they capitalized on. Manny looks very smart putting Hirose in. But it just speaks to the depth of this team that you can throw in pretty much anybody and maybe get a goal from them.
Well, I mean, that's the thing is, and Manny Malhotra talks about that all the time. It's next man up, next man up. So even with Räty in this game, suddenly you're down to 3 centers for the rest of that game. And it didn't seem to make that much of a difference because I thought maybe there was a chance you start to see the Canucks lose a bit of the wheels, but they were full on gas, pedal to the metal that whole game even without Räty.
Oh, absolutely. That's what they've been doing. They try to dictate the play, but they don't overpress, right? Like, they don't try to push so hard that they start making mistakes. They just kept trying to capitalize when Texas backed off. When they would get called for a penalty, they would kill the penalty, just play very sound in their own end. Silovs, very solid tonight, not giving up really many rebounds at all. His puck control tonight was phenomenal, and just really great stuff from the team. I don't really have much to say as downs, other than they were kind of getting worked over by the officials in the second period there. Even in the third, Sasson took a late, almost high hit, borderline headshot on the red line there by the goalie. And there's 2 refs on the ice. You know, somebody's got to catch that. By missing those calls, it leads to more of the animosity that we saw at the end of the game. It just leads to guys taking the situation into their own hands and trying to find retribution. Cole Lind got called out as being a little weasel there for his unsportsmanlike conduct. You know, you can't goad someone into a fight and then not drop the gloves. I mean, good on the officials for getting that right and not letting him get away with that. I really thought for a moment there that DiGiuseppe was going to get the only penalty, and that wouldn't have been right. So good for them. And then on the disallowed goal, I was screaming right away that you can't push the goalie's pad over the line. You can't push that. It was a really quick turnover by the officials to wave that one off. So good stuff there. And oh boy, gonna be a hell of a game 3.
The hate has arrived. Like I said, right? Like, you didn't see a lot of that to start, but even looking back to the first game, because after I watched all the post-game interviews, and there was that one moment last game where Cole Lind, again, right on top of Silovs, actually shoves Silovs into that in game 1. And then so they're asking the players, like, do you like that from Silovs? Because Silovs got up, he didn't take it, and he shoved Lind out. Tonight, Lind ends up with the 2 unsportsmanlike conduct. So he gets the one for not dropping the gloves with DiGiuseppe, and then he gets another one at the end of the game for getting into it with Artur Silovs. But Silovs essentially throws a headbutt on him too. So it looks like there might be a little bit of animosity between Artie and Lind, but I'm loving that fire from Silovs because he's like, I'm not going to stand around and let you push me.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And then the team stands up for each other. I mean, Sasson got his pound of flesh out of Lynn there. Definitely got a good punch in. And Blay was licking his lips, ready to go for a line brawl. He couldn't wait. I just love the way this team sticks together. It just feels when you see a goal go in, like the goal that Hiroshi got, that's a destiny goal. It just feels like everything right now is on the path for. We talk about the most Canucks things to happen, right? What would be the most Canucks thing to happen this offseason?
It would be
Higher foot,
yeah.
and Manny wins the Calder Cup.
The Abbey Canucks, the team that's only been around for 4 years now, ends up winning the Calder Cup before the Vancouver Canucks do it in 54 years, right?
Yeah, and I mean, we're getting the owner versus owner matchup. I mean, Ghilardi owns the Texas Stars, and Canucks Sports Entertainment own the Abbey Canucks. So we're getting the owner matchup. We're just not getting it with the big boys. So there is like that extra hate, I guess. You can put the underlying script to it.
So Connor Gale donating $2. Wonder if the big boys on Big Bucks are watching. You think any of the Vancouver Canucks are tuning in for these games?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if they're around. Some of them might even have been there watching. I'm sure a lot of the higher ups are watching closely. Management and stuff, keeping a close eye on these young guys, seeing how they're doing in the playoffs. I'm sure Daniel and Henrik are probably both there at every game. But yeah, no, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of these guys have been up with the big clubs, so they've made friendships with those guys. So, we've seen friends go support other friends even during the NHL playoffs at other rinks or on TV or whatever, saying who they're cheering for, right? So yeah, absolutely. I would expect the big boys are having a close eye on this. And I mean, some of them better be worried that they're going to lose their damn job next year.
Yeah. Well, it's funny because like for a lot of this game, there was a very controlled feel, like on both sides of it, right? There, it felt like both teams were trying to lock things down. So obviously both goalies are playing really well. But then there was also probably like maybe a dozen occasions where all of a sudden it's just like chaos. Puck bounces off this. Someone does a stupid backhand pass in their own zone. And suddenly it's like, oh my gosh, what's going on? How does it go from like being so calm to suddenly just like, holy crap, everyone, hair's on fire?
That's the AHL for you.
It's kind of funny because one thing I always say, everyone's like, would you rather watch the Super Bowl or the Grey Cup? And the thing I find with the Super Bowl all the time, it's just so automatic, right? Like it's most of the time it ends up being boring, right? Either it's a blowout or right, it's very like methodical. With the Grey Cup, the mistakes are what makes it fun, right? So it's like they're not as good at athletes as you see in the NFL. So it's the same thing here, NHL versus AHL. The mistakes are what cause this chaos where then suddenly you're like, oh my God, what's going on? And I feel like that's probably one of the reasons why we're having so much fun watching these Abbey Canucks in the AHL playoffs.
Oh, for sure, because it's not perfect hockey, right? Like they are going to make their mistakes because they're still learning, but at the same time, like there's so much emotion. Like these guys are fighting for their futures, and just it's such important experience for these young guys going into training camp next year and going into development camp. The effort and attitude that they're going to bring in is going to just push the guys that are fringe players right now to work that much harder to protect their jobs or earn their spots and their ice time next year. So, going into next season, seeing these young guys progress and how electric some of them can be. I mean, like, these guys are incredible to watch. Like, I am enjoying watching these games more than I enjoyed watching probably 75% of the Canucks games this year, the big Canucks.
Well, I mean, it's the thing we talk about, pucks on net. And I'll bring this up for everyone to see too, right? You look at the Canucks shots on net tonight. There was only 2 players on the whole roster that didn't get a shot on net. One of them was Räty, who only played a couple minutes, right? The other guy, Nate Smith, didn't have a shot, but literally every single other player on this roster had at least one shot tonight. Bunch of guys with 3 shots. I mean, Phil DiGiuseppe didn't get 10 shots, but still, you can see from top to bottom, and you see the contrast with what you see over here on the Texas side. There is not a shot from everyone. There's probably 6 people here who didn't get a shot on net. So pucks on net, pucks on net.
Well, and you look at where the shots are coming from.
Yeah.
Like with Abbotsford, like if you highlight the blue and focus on the blue, like the majority, like if you drew a line through each of the dots, there's maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shots from outside the dots.
Yeah.
Like that's quality stuff. And Manny has this system working and running like a top. These guys know exactly where to be. They know exactly which holes to fill. Everyone knows their role. Like I keep saying that like a broken record, but it's just it's such structured hockey that anyone can come in and fill a role. And this is like what Tocchet's dream was, but what Tocchet lacked was putting the right guys in the positions to succeed and then kind of sticking with it. You have to give it a chance to build. And there were some growing pains early in this season. These guys went 500 for a long time, for the first 2 months almost. And then as they understood what Malhotra was trying to teach them, the defensemen then started getting more involved with the play, and then you started seeing the offensive structure grow, and you started seeing them put more and more goals in the net. And then all of a sudden they were winning 9 games in a row, 12 games in a row. They were going on these crazy winning streaks, and it was like, what the heck is happening? And I was watching just this incredible structure being developed and these careers being rejuvenated, like Sammy Blais for the last half of the season. It was like, how did this guy not end up with an NHL contract again? It's like clearly those injuries are a thing of the past. He plays with no fear and no worry of any knee issue. And the way he took a lot of penalties, unnecessary penalties against the Eagles, but I'd much rather have a guy like that playing with his heart on his sleeve and doing absolutely everything in his power to get my team to that victory than some other players.
His hits look like they're from Chell, right? Like you love it in Chell, right? You always lay the guy out after he makes a pass, but this is in real life. He's doing that to people.
Oh, it's open ice. Like it's not even up against the boards. Like he's just, and he's like a wall. He just stands there. It's not like you see those big hits and both guys kind of fall. It's like a car crash. No, he like posters up on these guys. Like he's like, yeah, you lay there and think about what you did.
Oh, Calvin 99 Charlie chiming in. Yeah, Kirill Kudratsev also didn't have a shot. So there's 3 guys on the roster: Nate Smith, Kudratsev, and Räty. But we'll call it 2 because, as we said, Räty was out pretty quick there. So roster-wise, you think that means probably, well, I mean, depending on what it looks like, but if he didn't come back tonight, highly doubt he's coming back for a game that's only, they got 1 day off, travel all the way down to Texas to play. So probably thinking Glover gets back in the lineup for game 3.
Yeah, it's probably just the easiest switch right now. Depending on who else is feeling healthier. There is like Niels Oman out there in the wind and a couple other guys nursing injuries. So you also have Danila Klimovic who could come back in, but I think given the way that tonight ended, I would not be surprised in the slightest if we see Ty Glover back in the lineup, because you're going to want that size and that grit that he brings with his game. So I would expect some fireworks early on game 3. I'm kind of hoping they put that one on their YouTube for free because it'll be a gooder.
Yeah.
I just want everyone to be able to see it. I think it's going to be a great game.
Yeah. So one of the technical difficulties that happened was the stream that I had going on absolutely died on me. So in the middle of tonight, I
Oh
actually
no.
signed up for Flow Hockey so that I could do this because I wasn't watching on Flow Hockey before. So, but I'm also not going to give out pirated links on the YouTube channel because you get in trouble for that.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing is perfect.
No. But I mean, did you get the prorated price? If you did the like annual right now, I think you only have to pay like $16 and you get till the end of the playoffs. So
16
it's
bucks a
like
month.
not.
So it's not bad.
So you just sign up for the annual and then cancel right away, and then you get to the end of the year.
Yeah.
So it's not too bad.
3 stars of the night came in. Another pretty easy one, I'd say, Dustin, wouldn't you?
Oh yeah, goalie, goal scorer.
Boom, yeah. Archer Silovs with the shutout, first star. Räty Poirier with 28 saves on 29 shots, and then Akito Hirose with his first goal in the playoffs and also the game winner. So pretty easy one for the announcers.
And you know what? Honestly, if I was giving them out, I would have given Poirier the first star.
Yeah.
Because the quality of saves he had to make over Silovs, way more difficult. Like in the first period, he was instrumental in keeping the game 0-0. Yeah, Silovs faced more and got the shutout, but the quality of saves that Räty Poirier had to make were far above what Silovs did tonight. But yeah, absolutely. I mean, they're both star 1 and 2, and then Hirose got the goal. So I mean, that's a pretty easy one.
Sure, you're gonna try and start a riot in Abbotsford with the 3 stars.
I gotta stay unbiased. You know?
I think I remember though. I remember you saying, if they didn't give the goaltender who won with a shutout the first star, what are they even thinking about? I can't confirm that. We'll have to dig through the Rusty and Dusty postgame shows.
I'm sure there probably is me saying that, but you know what?
So first time Abby's probably playing on the east side of the country in a long time, all the way down in Texas. Again, going back to my point from this sideshow, Abby's used to traveling. Texas is not used to traveling. Is this an advantage for the Abby Canucks heading back to Texas, jumping on a plane?
Oh, I think so. I mean, they just went to Colorado and had to play there.
Mm-hmm.
So realistically, Texas should be a cakewalk. I think it's actually in the same time zone as Colorado. So, you know, they're just doing the central or mountain time thing. I think they'll be well ready to go. They're probably getting on a flight in the next hour, I would imagine. Probably getting out of town tonight so they can get into Texas tomorrow, get some rest, and then be ready to go for the following day.
And man, is it a tight turnaround? I'll bring it up for the kids here. We originally thought they would leave a little extra time for travel, but you can see it here. So tonight's game 1-0. Game 2 happened. The next game is literally at a 5 o'clock start too. So it's not even a full 2 days off. Usually, like you saw the difference between the first 2 games, obviously both games are at 7 o'clock. So this is a really quick turnaround and there's no rest for the weary. It's Monday, Wednesday, Friday in Texas, all at 5 o'clock. We'll be live for all of those, but again, I think advantage Canucks when it comes to dealing with the travel.
Well, and huge advantage Canucks being up 2-0.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, all
you got to pressure is on Texas. I mean, the Abby really just only has to win one game down there.
Yeah, win one game in Texas, and you're laughing because then you can
one game and you control everything.
Yeah. And you just know that the next game that comes, and that's the other thing too, right? Friday in Texas, if necessary, you get to game 6 in Abbotsford. It's again, there's only a 1 day gap, and it's a 6 o'clock start on that Sunday. So lots of hockey to be played. Probably better just to finish things off because I feel like the Checkers are not going to take too long to get rid of the Laval Rocket on the other side.
No, I would expect. Well, we'll see what happens tomorrow around 1 o'clock Eastern time. I'll have a check on the scoreboard, but Charlotte has pretty much been manhandling the Rocket.
Yeah,
it's not like they're getting like late goals like on empty nets. Like they're dominating 5-1 and 5-2. So we'll see how tomorrow goes, but that seems like a big mismatch for some reason.
So you're going to be around for the next game on Monday?
Monday, yes, I will be here.
It'll be a 5 o'clock
course.
start. We'll figure out what we'll do, whether it be first or second intermission. But I do have an interview with an actual news reporter for the show, which is pretty
Wow.
crazy. I'm not going to tell you who it is, but I teased
Look
it the
at
other
us.
day.
Look at us moving up in the world.
All right. They're actually willing to talk to me now. That's got to be a good sign. Dustin, anything you want to say to chat before I let you go for the night?
Oh, thanks as always for hanging out. I mean, it's incredible seeing 100 people watching at the end of the game there. Congratulations, Russ.
Thanks,
like your hard work is paying off. Look at the subscriber count up to 968. We'll be at 1,000 in no time. I'm just riding your coattails, buddy. Let's bring it home. I love it and appreciate all the comments and the questions. And we will talk to everyone on Monday.
Well, I would say you're not riding my coattails. If anyone who's old like me and Dustin remember, there was an N64 ad back in the day with Mario and Luigi, and they're all skipping through the field and like holding hands. That's what this is, Dustin. We're skipping through a field together.
Happy Together commercial. And it was Happy Together playing, wasn't it?
Yeah, and then I think they ended up getting tripped. It was a Super Smash Brothers commercial, I think.
Yeah, it was Super Smash Brothers.
Yeah, and then they start fighting. So the fighting can be the end of today's game because there was a scrum in the Abbey zone. I thought the game was over, and suddenly there was a scrum in the Texas zone. So we'll say that.
No, we make a hell of a team, and I appreciate all your hard work, and look forward to Monday.
Cool. Talk to you soon, brother. Enjoy your nice lazy Sunday.
Absolutely. Talk to you later.
Nothing is perfect.